Hello everyone. My previous video, I showed you that in this timing also we can not go to the chemistry lab, but we can perform those experiments online on the website provided by Amrita University. So I showed that there is a possibility wherein you can perform them, and this kind of practical is known as virtual lab. Now today in this video, I'll explain one of the titration methods because normally in chemistry, especially in engineering chemistry, when you start your chemistry lab, it always starts with a titration session. So today I'll explain you that how titration can be performed. So obviously in the keywords you have to type acid base titration or any titration and Amrita lab. When you get the link, you just click on the link, and as similar to the previous video, you can see here that theory link is provided, procedure, self-evaluation, simulator, assignment, reference, and feedback. So now if I go to the theory portion, obviously your theory portion will discuss the thing in detail. So your aim is to determine that amount of substance which is present in the solution of unknown concentration. I understand you know that titration is always the determination of a concentration of unknown compound. You need to find it with the help of a known compound. So one is the burette apparatus which you use, wherein you put a titrant. One is a pipette with the help of which you pipette out a analyte. So basically your aim would be to find out the unknown concentration of the analyte, and you use an indicator. So in that, where it is any reagent which helps you in identifying the end point of the titration by changing the color. So normally there is a color change with the help of which you will be easily able to find out that the reaction is over, and that point at which you see the color change is known as the end point. Now if you go to the expressions, how do you measure the concentrations? So that is in normality, molarity, molality, and formality form. What is a normal solution? So number of gram equivalents dissolved per liter. Now there are certain terms which you need to know. What do you mean by strength of the solution? And number of millimoles, equivalents, normality, percentage by weight. So a very good depiction is written here. You can explore it on your own. So basically, in order to find out the end point, there are many instruments or methods which you can use, which is written here. Indicator, obviously potentiometer, pH meter, conductivity meter. There is a color change, precipitation. So on the basis of the principle, you can classify the titrations in four types basically. The first one is acid base titration, wherein acid neutralizes base and vice versa. So at the end point, neutralization takes place, and due to which the color change will takes place. The second is redox titration, wherein reduction and oxidation takes place simultaneously. The third one is precipitation titration. The name again itself suggests that at the end point you're going to get a precipitate. And the fourth one is complexometric titration, wherein at the end point you're going to get a complex, due to which there will be some color change, and you'll be able to understand that the titration has ended. So in this page, if you go and look down, you'll be able to see these things in detail. So first they have discussed acid base titration, so they have discussed the theory as well, and that is in very nice manner. Now if you can see here, I hope you do understand that the indicators work according to their pH ranges, right? As per their pH ranges, they display color. Now if you can see, phenolphthalein here is 8.3 to 10, right? Methyl red is 4.4 to 6.2. Methyl orange is 3.1 to 4.4. And then they have shown you the color also. So obviously color on the basic side would be yellow, but if it turns to acidic, it becomes red. Similarly, phenolphthalein, in basic it is pink in color, but if you keep on titrating it with an acid, it becomes colorless. So that is how the color change will take place. And so is in methyl red, yellow to red, or pink to colorless. So basic to acidic side, if you go, you will see the color change. and that is what is written here. And then there are a lot many possibilities like strong acid versus strong base, weak versus weak, strong versus weak, etc, etc. So that you can explore on your own. But basically it happens that whenever you're taking a strong acid and strong base, you normally go with these three indicators, and like that. Now going to the second type, precipitation titration. As I said, there will be formation of a precipitate. So this is nothing but an example of a precipitation titration, wherein you get a precipitate. So as soon in the beaker you receive a precipitate, you can stop adding the titrant from the burette, and you can note down the color, the change, the end point. The third one is complexometric titration. I'll discuss it in the another video. It is basically formation of complex at the end point, and for that you need a ligand. Metal ligand complex takes place. So EDTA is a hexadidentate ligand. Hexadentate means, hexa means 6 and dent means bond. So it's going to make 6 bonds with the metal. You can see here the ethylene diamine tetraacetate looks like this, wherein you have nitrogen, you have oxygen available for bonding. So all 4 oxygens, 2 nitrogens make it a hexadentate ligand. Now here we can discuss it later on. Basically this is it. So now what we are going to do here is, we have seen all of the type of titrations here. I'll close this and then I'll show you in detail. So if we go down, we will be able to see acid base we are done, complexometric we are done, and then if you go down, these are nothing but the structures, applications, and the last one is a redox titration, wherein reduction and oxidation takes place simultaneously. So this is how you can explore the entire theoretical portion of a titration. If you go and click on the procedure, you'll be able to see that first obviously you have to select the titrant and the titrate, and based on that you have to see the color change. And N1 V1 N2 V2 is always the equation to find out the normality of an unknown compound, and that is what it is written here. So these are nothing but the points to remember. Self-evaluation is always an exercise wherein you can evaluate yourself. So under acidic conditions, litmus paper turns to, I think, red to blue or blue to red. Let's click this. Okay, so if you don't know the answers, you can, go ahead with what you like, and at the end you can submit it. So it's just like, let's say if you click on this, right, and then you click submit, so you'll be able to know that which you have correctly marked and which you have wrongly marked, right? So we have just done a random check. Now go to assignment portion. Here also you'll get good amount of questions, so you can brush up your knowledge from here. If you want to read on extra, you can click on references. These are the books which are written here, and you can anytime refer to those books. This is nicely accommodated. At the end, if you want to provide any feedback, you can click on the feedback. Now coming to the main portion, which is nothing but simulator. So in order to perform the experiment, once you have to log in. Now if you have not logged in, you have to create, like I have logged in as Neha Patni, right? So it will ask you to sign up or log in, and then only it will start the simulator. So let's see the simulator here. As I said, is a titration setup. So I think you do understand that in a titration setup, you always have a burette first, right? Wherein you put a titrate, which is the solution with a known amount of the known normality basically. This is a conical flask wherein you put a analyte or a titrate solution, which is basically a unknown compound. So anything which is unknown to you with an unknown concentration, you have to titrate it with a known concentration. So you have to add the solution dropwise here. As soon as you see a color change here, you have to stop adding the particular solution. So that is like here, start and reset. Okay, so now let's go with how do you do that. Okay, so simulator, if you can see here, there are lot many options provided. Now let us go ahead with selecting any of them. So let's say we have selected hydrochloric acid here, and then Let's see, we have to select a base. Let me select sodium hydroxide only. Normality of titrant, volume of titrant, how much you have to keep. If you increase the volume, obviously your readings is going to change. It's going to increase. So I think we'll keep it as minimum 10 ml. Speed of the drop you can increase, but it should be actually minimal, because if it is a titration, it has to be a slow addition. But as of now, just to show you a quick color change, I'll increase the speed to zero point 0.2. Now as soon as I put a start here, I have to click on stop as soon as I see a color change. Now if you remember, phenolphthalein gives you pink to white, right? Because you are adding acid to a base. Stop. So we have seen a color change here, and the volume of titrant is 1.1 ml. So in the basic solution, it showed pink color, but as soon as you have added an acid to it, it neutralized and it shows the color change. Let us select one more indicator here, methyl orange. Let's start yellow to orange. I hope you remember. So now you just have to quickly observe it and click on stop as soon as you observe a color change. It has to be very fast. Stop, and that's it. So you can see the volume of titrant 1 ml. So speed of drop you should actually decrease to minimum in order to see the accurate answer. Let us check with another indicator, methyl red. Start, and it was yellow to like red kind of. The range was 4.4 to 6.2. Methyl orange was around 3 to 5. Phenolphthalein was around 8 to 10, and I just had clicked on stop, and the volume of titrant remains same in each of the indicator. So obviously indicator does indicate the change in the end point. It does not have anything to do with the reaction. So now you can play with these options, like you can select any strong acid, you can select a weak base, let's say potassium hydroxide, and if I select phenolphthalein and if I click on start, again I have to do the same procedure, and I'll click on stop as soon as I get a color change. Now if you see here, the titrant value will increase because now your base is weak, right? So like that. So if I go with methyl, let's say if I change the color with methyl orange, let me change to ammonia, and I take a methyl red, click on start, they will say that this is not applicable. So this is also right in the sense that if you are not able to understood the fact of pH range, you can simply select a permutation combination, and it will guide you whether you are right or not. So very quickly, last time I'm just doing it, start and stop. As soon as you get a color change, you have to click on stop, and that's it. So you'll get the reading from here, right? So from here you will get the reading. So this is what all for today. I just wanted to give you a glimpse of virtual lab, how does it look like, and I just want you to explore it on your own. That's it. So I think you have liked the video. Thank you so much.